We now want to look at some basic CAD options inside of 12D. All our CAD options for creating points, lines, intersections, circles, arcs, etc. are found in the toolbars down the left hand side. We can also find them inside of strings, CAD, and inside these menus here. Obviously it is easier to work with the toolbars and the flyouts, so these are the ones we will be working with. Before we can start creating our CAD, we need to set up our CAD control bar. So we want to give it a model name, and we'll put this into a model called CAD, and we'll give it a color. So we'll just give it a color of white. We could enter in a default height here, but by leaving it blank it means that if we pick on the strings it will take on the height of these points. Our line style, once again we can select from an array of line styles, but by leaving it at 1 we'll just get a solid line. Okay, to get started we just want to create a point. So we click on the first toolbar and then the first icon inside that toolbar. To create a point we can click anywhere on the screen and accept that point. And we'll create a point. If we wanted to create a point at a certain position, we could simply start typing in the coordinates. 42, 495, space, 37,000, space, a height of 50 meters, and press enter. And you'll note that the position is then created, the point at that position. If we now wanted to create a line, we would simply go to the CAD Lines toolbar and go to the first icon. Once again, we can just pick points off the screen, or we can pick points in space, or we can type in coordinates. If we wanted to create a line string, once again, second toolbar and out to the third icon, create line string. We can then pick points and once again we can create them in space or type in their coordinates. To end this off we need to click on escape. If we now wanted to do such things as parallel this string, we would go down to the CAD string and come out to the fifth icon, string parallel. In order to parallel a string needs to have some kind of direction, and for most strings we would have no idea whether the string goes in this direction or in this direction. So what we can do is we can pick a string and give it a direction on the fly. So in order to do that we simply pick the string with our left mouse button, hold down the left hand mouse button and drag it along the string, and then release and accept. So this has given my string here a direction in this direction. If I wanted to give it a direction going this way, I would simply drag my mouse in this direction. Now because I picked in this direction, that means the right hand side will be up here and that will be positive, and the left hand side will be down here and that will be negative. So if I give this an offset distance of 10 meters and an offset height, well, we can leave that at 0 and press enter, you'll see my offset goes in this direction. If I now pick this string in this direction and accept it and leave my offset distance as 10, I should get a string in here. Enter that, and you can see we have. If I just create another string here, I'll just draw a little string in at random, say from this point here down to this point here, and I wanted to use the option to trim this string up against this boundary, I simply go into my modify again and come into string trim. Now, as with all options inside 12D, if you look down in the bottom left hand corner, it's asking me to pick the cutting string for my trim. So that would be this string here, and now it's asking me to pick the string to trim, and I want to pick this side of the string, not this side, because I want to trim this. I pick it here and you can see my string has been trimmed along that edge. If I now wanted to extend this string so that it meets up with this string up here, I once again go into String Extend. Looking down in the left hand corner again, it's asking me for the boundary string. I pick on this one, and now it's asking me for the string to extend, and I pick on this one. It extends that string. Obviously with CAD we can do a lot more than what we've just shown you. We can do such things as move. So if I wanted to move a string, looking down the left hand side, it's asking me to pick the string to move. I'll just pick this string here. It's now asking me for a base point. So my base point can be anywhere, but to make it easy, I'll pick on the start of this string, and then I can just dynamically move my string to wherever I wish it to go. As with it, most things inside of 12D and all CAD functionality, we can undo that, and we can simply go Edit, Undo. It'll tell me that it's going to undo the CAD move, and I can accept it or say no, and I say yes. If I'm doing a lot of CAD functionality, then it's probably a good idea to leave my undo open, and to do that we simply click on the header, which will then rip it off, and I can pin it over here, and then I can simply click undo at any time. We don't need our CAD model when we're doing our design, so we're going to delete this model. So we simply go Models, Delete, Delete a Model, and we can select this model one of three ways. We can either middle mouse button inside of here and select one of the strings inside that model that we want to delete, and that will fill it in for us. Alternatively, we could have opened up the model list and selected CAD, or we could have gone to the Same As button and once again selected any one of our CAD strings. Once we've got the model we want, we click on Delete and accept the warning saying we're about to delete one model. Seeing as we're already in this delete model, we might as well delete our trash model also. Delete that, yes, and we can get rid of our base model too. Delete, yes, and finish on that. We now no longer have our CAD model in our survey, or our base or trash model.